Hello, I hope everyone's doing all right. I really miss seeing your smiling faces in class. I wanted to make sure we continue moving on with the material we were supposed to be covering. We are about a week behind from the calendar I gave you a couple weeks ago, but I just want to make sure we cover the topics that you need to see before you go on to calculus, especially. So we are going to keep talking about some new information. I'm not sure how the grading will go with that, but at least I want you to be familiar with it and comfortable with it. And we'll kind of go from there. So in the white packet that I gave you a couple weeks ago, there are notes for 8.1, 8.2, 8.3. So that's the next unit. And we're going to cover 8.1 in this video and the next video. And that is law of sines. But before we do that, I want you to review solving a triangle, meaning finding all missing sides and angles right now. So there's a warm-up on your note packet, also on the screen. I want you to hit pause. I want you to find side A, side B, and side A, side C, and angle B. When you're done, go ahead and hit play, and the answers will be up there. Okay, you may want to hit pause again, just so you can kind of check your work here. And I showed my work. I found angle B first, and then I used sine of angle B, which is 15 degrees, to find sine C, and then Pythagorean theorem to find sine A. Biggest thing for you here is to make sure your calculator is in degree mode, otherwise your answers will be very different from mine. Moving on. We're going to talk about law of sines. So you learned in geometry how to solve right triangles, and you may have talked about law of sines, law of cosines a little bit, but I'm sure that you haven't used it much since then, so you probably don't remember much of it. So our goal here is to solve general triangles. They don't have to be right triangles, they just have to be a triangle, using law of sines. And the law of sines simply says that there are ratios of side lengths to the sine of the corresponding angle. So A over sine of A is the same as B over sine of B, which is equal to C over sine of C. So remember, angles are capital letters, sides are lowercase letters directly across from the corresponding angle. Solving an oblique triangle means we're finding the lengths of its sides and the measurements of all of its angles. And law of sines can typically be used in a couple cases. One where you have angle, angle, side, or some books say side, angle, angle, or angle, side, angle. And then there's also a case that is called the ambiguous case. It'll be in the next video that talks about side, side, angle. So 2 examples here. First one, solve the triangle. We have angle A, angle C, and side C. And it always helps to draw your triangle and label everything to be sure that you are using the correct ratios, or once we're done with the next section, the correct formulas. So let's go ahead and make a triangle. So I'll do that while you do it. Let's see, a chance to do some type of, okay. I don't need the right triangle because it's not a right triangle. Let's see, shape here, we'll do this one. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and label this. I'm gonna do angle A, angle B, angle C, and then the sides are directly across from those angles. And I'm gonna label what I know. So angle A is 46 degrees, angle C is 63 degrees, and side C is 56. So we need to, in the end, have answers for the missing sides and angles. So I need to find angle B. So angle B is going to be equal to 180 degrees minus the 46 and 63 that we already have. So when we calculate that, measure of angle B will be 71 degrees. And go ahead and check my math there. It's been a long couple weeks. Okay, so measure of angle B is 71. Now we can set up ratios. I know side C is 56 and angle C is 63. So I'm going to do 56 over sine of 63 degrees. equals, and I'm going to find side A first. So side A over sine of angle A, which is 46 degrees. So when I calculate that, I'm just going to treat this as a proportion. I'm going to cross multiply. So I'm going to do 56 times sine of 46 degrees divided by sine of 63 degrees, and then we get my side A alone. Make sure your calculator is in degree mode before you do this, and go ahead and type that in, and you should get that side A is equal to 58.6. And then we're going to do the same thing then for side B and set up a proportion. We have 56 over sine of 63 degrees equals side B over sine of 71 degrees. If I multiply by 71 sine of 71 on both sides and type that in my calculator, I find that side B is equal to 45. Sorry, looking at the wrong one. Hang on, this is not the right answer. Let's go back. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong problem there. Okay, so check that. Side A is actually 45.2. And then let's go ahead and do this one. Side B is actually 59.4. Okay, one thing that you should hopefully remember from geometry that might help you out is the longest side should always be across from the largest angle. Likewise, the shortest side should also be across from the smallest angle. So it's a good way to check your work, but essentially that's what you're doing today. Okay, so let's look at example 2. Very similar, just a different case. So this was the angle side case. Let's look at the angle side angle case. Okay, so we have our measurements. Always start by drawing your triangle. It's going to make your life a lot easier. And then label what you know. So if I go ahead and do that, I'm going to try to label it over here this time. Okay, so I'm going to label what I know. I know that angle A is 50 degrees. Don't know B. I know angle C is 33.5 degrees. And then side B is 76. We need side C and side A. So again, I have two angles. It's really easy to find that third angle by subtracting those two from 180. So angle B is equal to 180 minus 33.5 plus 50, which gives me 96.5. Okay, then I'm going to find my missing sides using our proportion, our ratios. So I am going to do, let's see, sine. So I need side A. So A over sine of 50 degrees equals 76, which is B, over sine of 96.5 degrees. So when I multiply that, I get A equals 76 times sine of 50 divided by sine of 96.5. And enter that in your calculator. That's where you get 58.6. Apologize for writing that in the wrong problem. And then set up a ratio for side C. So side C over sine of 33.5 is equal to side B, which is 76, over sine of B, which is 96.5 degrees. Okay, cross multiply that. You're going to type in 76 times sine of 33.5 divided by sine of 96.5, and you should get that C equals 42.2. Okay, and that's what you're doing with angle side and angle side angle. Check out the next video to see the ambiguous case.